All right, it's time. Welcome to our Just Breathe practice. Taking a time in the middle of the day to pause, to check in, begins with the breath. So find yourself a comfortable place to begin, and maybe, just maybe, you can soften the shoulder blades down the back, maybe even lay the hands at the sternum and draw the fingers across the chest. It's going to help to open. And then once again, letting the hands come to rest wherever they're comfortable. The eyes might remain open or gently close or just soften the gaze. If that's not safe, doesn't feel safe, don't do it. And then maybe you bring the corners of your mouth just a little lifted, not a full-blown smile, but just the opening, the beginnings of a light-hearted ease in your face. How's the breath? And maybe some things have already shifted just by opening this app, right? Maybe some things have shifted by finding a pause in your day. Maybe it's shifted because you've done some self-touch, encouraging the heart to open, the shoulders to relinquish their burdens for these few minutes. Or maybe you haven't noticed anything shift, but you're hungry for it. That's enough. Letting the burdens that we carry, the responsibilities that we accept responsibility for, they're heavy. But what about those sense of burdens that are beyond our control? When the world itself is on fire, literally or figuratively. These days, in which honestly I'm afraid to open my phone's apps, I'm afraid to turn on the radio or the TV. It's easy to become overwhelmed, to lose sight of this breath as the link between the body and the mind, but more importantly, between myself and all. Yoga is the practice of walking that path of living to resume the union, the oneness from which we were born. So I want you to continue to steady, calm, and slow the breath. Perhaps there's a visualization that works for you. I'm going to read a poem that speaks to me in this sense of oneness with all. And I hope that it invites you into that being held, especially when times in life feels hard. From Andrea Vincent, Union. Breath and body Move as one. Salutation to the moon and sun. In the natural flow from night to day, dark and light unite and interplay. With every fiber of my being, I feel an inner sense of freeing. As the energies begin to surge, the elements meet and merge. Earth, ether, water, air, fire. On cresting waves, dance even higher. Each stretching breath lifts to inspire. As grace fills my cup to overflowing, ineffable joy knows innately where it's going. Following an inner urge, melting in nothingness to emerge in the endless, eternal heart's embrace of spirit beyond time and space. Ever flowing, ever still, it fathomless peace will never cease to thrill as I fill with the bliss of a kiss to my very core from the one I endlessly adore. You are who you were waiting for. Sweet, blessed union with forevermore. I invite you to bring your hands into a bit of a crossover, whether that's crossing to the opposite shoulder or crossing to opposite ribs or a little bit of both. Just hold yourself as you feel the breath of the universe, the gift of life, as it expands and contracts, as it moves your ribs, your collarbone, your arms, your shoulder blades, your belly. And then can you bring back that gentle smile if it has fallen away? Just a little lifting of the corners of your mouth. Maybe it reaches your cheeks, maybe it reaches your eyes. And give a squeeze. Maybe it's the hands just squeezing the arm or the side body, or maybe it's a shrugging of the shoulders into a hug, or even a little rock and wiggle. And then when you are ready to release, can you sigh out? Can you let whatever you no longer need to hold on to? Can you let it go with a vocalizing release? Okay, let's bring a little effort into our being. Maybe that's a slow Bhastrika, that's the bellows breath, an exaggerated effort on the inhale and the exhale. Or, again, I want to invite a slow and steady, because it's in the slow that we can really recalibrate mind and body. So it might be a slow Kapalabhati, that forced exhale. Or maybe just allowing yourself to exaggerate your breath. Did you lose the smile? Did the concentration on the breath distract you from that sense of aliveness and joy of receiving the gift of breath? It's enough just to breathe. But how much better can it be if we breathe with joy? And if we let that show up on our face, the muscles in our face will cultivate a deeper relationship with that which is below, the body. So when we want to feel happiness, joy, change your breath, change your expression, change your mind. If the sounding is good, go with it. We're going to take a minute of some silent or verbal laughter. Your head at me. That's okay. That's okay. But just notice how it feels. How it feels, whether it was just a witnessing of me being vocally joyful, or whether there was any spark of that connection to love, to laughter, to life in you. I cannot, despite my desires, I cannot heal the world. But I can actively participate in cultivating the sound of joy, the expression of joy, the actions of love. So with that, let us bring our hands to rest at or on our hearts. And may we breathe deeply and move freely, labor lovingly, and live vibrantly, intimately with prana, in full awareness, in full celebration of joy. Namaste.
No, and I wasn't shaking my head at you. I was shaking my head at the ridiculous contagiousness of laughter.
Yeah. It's powerful.
And
What's the culture that has made us feel uncomfortable making the sounds of joy? Especially when we're in an outside place. It's one thing, right? If we're in our cubicles and there's people on either side of us, or there's, it's going to interfere with someone's concentration. But why is the sound of laughter almost as feared as the sound of sorrow, of anguish, of tears? So that's why I like to laugh for no reason, because if I wait for a reason, there's too much time between this laughter and the next.